Since when was this here? Hello interwebs and welcome back. I'm Shana and this is why I share my life and stories and adventures and opinions and whatever else I feel like. And today we are back with another creepy, spooky webtoon from the collection, The Vault of Horror, a collection of nightmares. The link to the story will be down in the description box below, so make sure to go show the author and the artist some love. And if you too would like me to read your creepy or spooky story over here on my channel, the link to my email is also down in the description box below. You can send me a made-up, completely fictional story, or it can be something true and paranormal that may have happened to you and some friends. But without too much rambling, let's go ahead and get into it. The following is a work of fiction. This work contains scenes which may be disturbing for some readers, so those with weak hearts are advised not to read on. Moko, who lives next door, bragged about how she had just gone to see her grandma. My grandma bought me a new dress. Wow, good for you. Jealous, right? I knew you'd be. I was jealous, so I went to ask my mom about my own grandma. Mom, do I have a grandma too? Mom stared at me for a minute, and then smiled and answered, of course. You have a grandma. Wow. You've got my parents as grandparents, and your dad's parents. I had something to brag about to Moko next time. Are you that happy about having grandparents? Yeah, I'm really happy. Then how about tomorrow, me, you, and your dad make a trip to your dad's parents? Stunned. Really? Of course. The Vault of Horror, a collection of nightmares. A tale of cat and mouse. And so, the next day, our whole family went to my grandma's house. Well, who do we have here? Our dear son and daughter-in-law. It's good to see you, Mansuk. Have you been well? Yes, ma'am. But who's this little girl? This is Yunsul. She turned 7 this year. Stare. Smile. Welcome, Yunsul. I'm so happy to see the two of you. And now you brought me a beautiful girl? I'm sorry we don't have a son. That doesn't matter. I was just worried the two of you would never have any children at all. This is wonderful. But, Mansuk, did the cat get your tongue? You seem awfully quiet. Whisper. Dad, Mom, it's good to be home. I'm sorry. We haven't visited more often. Whisper. Hey, is that really Mansuk? I can't believe it. I never thought I'd see him again. Whisper. Since I've become a father, I think I finally realized what it's like to be a parent. Thank you, Dad. Mom. I know it's late, but I hope you'll forgive all of my mistakes. It's weird that this kid's 7 and they haven't been to see their grandparents. The grandparents don't know they existed, right? My grandma and grandpa, oh, they're cute. Smile. Hi, Yunsul. Why are you standing there? Come in. Tap. Hesitate, shuffle. Come here. Hesitate, shuffle. There you go. Plop. Took really good care of me. I don't know how they managed to hide this little angel from us for so long. Come on now, you're going to make her blush. I'm sure they weren't hiding her. I didn't mean it literally. By the way, don't you think Yunsul's nails are a bit too long? Oh, you're right. Why would her mother let them grow so long without cutting them? Honey, get the nail clippers. Yunsul, do you want to hear an old story about my family? My great-great-grandma was on her way back from visiting her first son. She was crossing through this creepy mountain path to get home, but something was very wrong. There's a long trail surrounded by pumpkin flowers on the way to her house. She walked all day until the sun set. She heard owls calling out, but she still hadn't come to that pumpkin flower trail. People didn't usually have trouble finding their way on this path, but my poor old great-great-grandma was all alone, and she couldn't see very well in the moonlight. Not to mention, she had difficulty walking. And things look very different at night than they do during the day. You don't see things that you're used to seeing, and even things you've seen countless times can suddenly seem new and strange. It got darker and darker until she couldn't see a thing in front of her, and then she suddenly saw a little thatched house in front of her. She thought to herself, "Since when was this here?" Even though she felt bad having to bother the residents of the thatched house, she didn't want to spend the night in a forest where she could be attacked by tigers and wild boars. But the strange thing is, as soon as she approached the house, a couple came out as if they had been expecting her, and upon seeing her, they cried, "Mom!" with tears in their eyes. The young couple said the young man's mother had just passed away 3 days earlier, and my great-great-grandma resembled her so much that they thought she had come back to visit them. The young couple told her they wanted to do everything for my great-great-grandma that they didn't get a chance to do for his mom. So they prepared all kinds of delicious foods for her to enjoy. And they let her stay in a warm room with soft blankets until she fell asleep. The young man massaged her shoulders and the young woman her legs. 5 times on the left, then 5 times on the right. 5 times on the left, then 5 times on the right. And so she fell asleep for a while. A little while later, she awoke to the feelings of hands massaging her shoulders. It's all right, you don't have to do that now. But you know what? Even though she told them to stop, they just kept massaging her. She felt bad that they were going to so much trouble for her, so she opened her eyes and was going to tell them to stop. But before her eyes was not the young couple. Ooh! They were 2 centipedes. Oh my god, I was expecting it not to be them, but I was not expecting centipedes. Crawling all over her, massaging her legs, her fingers, and her face. I hope they're just regular centipedes and not mukade, because the mukade, those ones will get ya. They'll hurt ya. Ah! Oh my. Did I scare you that badly, Yunsol? I shouldn't have teased you like that. Look, Yunsol, the sun is still high up in the sky, and you've got nothing to be afraid of. And besides, that's not the end of the story. When my great-great-grandma saw those centipedes, she was terrified and couldn't move a muscle. Then she heard one of the centipedes crawling on her fingers, mutter something. This old woman doesn't have any tasty fingernails to eat. Be quiet, or you'll wake her. She was afraid they would find out she was awake, so she stayed very quiet and didn't move. Thump, thump. But she couldn't fool them. Thump. I think she's already awake. When she opened her eyes again, the centipedes had already disappeared. Jump. And she found that she wasn't in the house she had seen yesterday, but rather laying on a big rock in the forest. See, the ending wasn't so scary, was it? And look, while I was telling you that story, I clipped your fingernails for you. So now the centipedes won't bother you. If you keep them short, you'll never have to worry about them harming you. So if they seem a bit long, just ask your mother to clip them for you. I'm gonna tell Moko. All right, now, do you want me to tell you a neat old story that'll make you forget about fingernails? That my grandma told me all kinds of cool stories about the old days. Really? It has to be a nice story this time. Pat, pat. Goodness, I was wondering where she was all day. I'm sorry, I hope I didn't bother you too much. Not at all. I had more fun than I've had in ages. We don't have any daughters in our household, as you know. Snooze, snooze. Why'd you wait so long to bring this little darling here? By the way, what's Mansok up to? Well, he was looking for Yunsol to take her to see a friend of his. Ah, right. You must be exhausted, so hurry up and bring Mansok back. Yes, sir. Glance. Actually, I wanted to tell you something. What is it? Well, it's about Yunsol. Really? She's not rude or anything like that. She seems to get scared more easily than other children. Her nails were so long, and no one had cut them. So I tried to cut them for her, but she was so afraid. Don't spoil her too much, or treat her like a princess. I understand. But, ma'am, could I ask you something? What is it? Where did you throw out her finger and toenail clippings? In the backyard. Why? Is there a problem? No, it's nothing. I'll go get Mansok. What are they going to do with her finger and toenail clippings? Oh no. What should I do? Well, I guess it'll be all right. No, I've got to find them. I have to. I must find them. What is this? The art's really cool. What? Your wife went back home? Yeah, something urgent came up, so I sent her back. I know they say that young people nowadays tend to rush around a lot, but what the heck is the reason? That doesn't make any sense. Why would she just rush off in the middle of the night and leave you and her daughter here? We'll be back soon. Ugh, I can't believe this. It's all right, honey. There's been something strange about him since he got married. And now that wife of his pissing me off. Mansok, Kiwan, is that you? You remember me? Of course I do. What is it? Well, I'm not sure how to tell you this, but something seems wrong here. Actually, yesterday, your wife told me to find all of Yunsol's fingernail clippings, so I spent all night looking for them. But actually, I don't understand why she would ask me to do that at night when it's pitch black. It's like searching for a needle in a haystack. I tried for a while to find them, but it was impossible, so I just went to sleep. But when I woke up, all this had happened. So I just thought that something seemed wrong about all of this. If that's what you ran all the way here to tell me, this doesn't concern you at all. So don't worry and head back. What? Thank you for your concern. I'll see you later. The power of time is truly extraordinary. Hearing someone like Mansok say, thank you, is something I never thought I'd live to see. If I'd had known he'd react like this, I would have tried to help his wife more. A Tale of Cat and Mouse continued in part 2. Before I give my rating, I guess we will continue to part 2, but first let's read the comments for part 1 and see what they have to say. The great-grandma could have passed on some sort of mythical centipede gene to the father. Why would the wife want the fingernails, though? It's not like she's a centipede. Or is she? So this is an urban legend for kids to hurry and cut their nails. And as what I figured out, the wife is a pesticide and her husband knows that. And thus story just took this urban legend and turned it into reality. But people who think... Two, the Vault of Horror collector is not... What? Okay. This sentence is strange. Not 100% sure what they were going for. If you have any ideas, let me know down in the comments. I love the art in this episode. It's so cute. Me too. The art in this one's really good. Let's move on to part 2 and see what happens next. Episode 18. Glance. Dad, what is it? I've had so many things to ask him, like why my mom left without us. Nothing. Step. But I couldn't bring myself to ask him. We're home. Mom? There you are, Unsol. Why did you leave without us? Grandma and Grandpa were really mad. That's why you looked so worried when I saw your face. Don't worry, we'll go back again soon. I made a mistake, and it upset your Grandma and Grandpa. Honey? Yes? Take this. What is it? Rattle. I just barely managed to find it at the market on the way home. Rattle. What on earth? Meow. Clank. Meow. A cat? What? What is this? Why would you get me a cat? I realized early this morning when you left by yourself. Did you do it yourself? This can't be. Do what? I don't know what you... So he's known about everything all along. Isn't this... Shiver. How you took care of things that other time? Unsol, where are you? Mom? Why are there 2 of me? What? The Vault of Horror, A Collection of Nightmares. A Tale of Cat and Mouse. Part 2. 10 years ago. I married my husband Mansuk when I was 16 years old. Our parents had already arranged the marriage since the time we were born. But it was only at the age of 19, 3 years into our marriage, that I finally became pregnant with Unsol. My husband Mansuk has always been a rough person and would leave the house for 10 days at a time with no notice, bringing all kinds of trouble with him when he'd return. Mansuk, where are you going? What a man does is none of his wife's business. I was lonely. I was essentially living alone away from my parents at such a young age. I couldn't go home and I couldn't tell my parents about it since I didn't want them to worry about me. I was so anxious. Every time Mansuk came home, I was so uncomfortable since I had no idea where he had been or what he had done. I was always anxious awaiting his return. It was torture. Every time I saw him, I was reminded of how terribly he behaved and was disappointed in him. So, my being pregnant with Unsol was both a blessing and a cause for worry. The only thing I could do was to pray. Pray. That my husband would see how badly he was behaving and correct himself. And about a month after Unsol was born, I was on my way home when I met a monk on the path who needed someone to breastfeed a child. Thank you. No problem at all, sir. As a token of thanks, I'd like to hear your story. My story? What is the greatest trouble on your mind right now? Well, I guess I'd just really like my husband to behave better. He's not an evil man. He's just not behaving the way a proper husband should. Well then. When your husband comes home, cut his fingernails and toenails and toss them into the backyard before you go to sleep. And leave the door open around the size of your fist. His nails? Yes. Then everything will be as you want it to be. Gulp. Squeeze. I had no idea what he was talking about, but I figured I had nothing to lose. So I did exactly as he said and cut my husband's nails, tossed them out the back, and then left the front door slightly open. Thump, 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 thump. That night, I had a very strange dream. Psst, thump, thump, thump. In my dream, a black mouse and a white mouse came out of my husband's nose, then ran outside and ate my husband's nails. I tried to stay as quiet as possible so that I could watch the mice without them hearing me. But once they had finished eating the nails, they rushed back into the house and went straight back into my husband's nose. I was truly shocked by the dream, but when I awoke, what I saw almost gave me a heart attack. Before my eyes, just like now, there were two of my husband. Gasp. I was completely out of my mind. When I calmed myself down a bit, I went to the spot where I'd met the monk. And amazingly, as if he'd been waiting for me, he was sitting in exactly the same spot. He smiled in a way like he already knew what was going on, and told me, to get the person you hope, catch a wild cat. To keep what you already have, catch a black cat. Huff, huff. I didn't have time to think about what he meant. Immediately, I rushed off to find a wild cat. Okay. When the cat ran at one husband, he turned into a mouse and was devoured by the cat. I was stunned. It felt like a dream. And from that day on, when the nightmares began, I dreamt that there were millions of eyes staring at me. I felt an overwhelming sense of guilt. You killed him, you killed him, you killed him, you killed him, you killed him. You killed your own husband, you bitch. You killed your own husband, you bitch. You killed your own husband, you bitch. I watched my own husband die. He may have made me lonely and anxious and suffer, but he was still my husband. All I saw was a cat eating a mouse. All I saw was a cat eating a mouse. There isn't even a body. It wasn't me. It was the cat. The cat killed him. It wasn't me. It was the cat. The cat killed him. My husband's dead. I killed him. All I saw was a cat eating a mouse. This art is so freaking cool. Then, my husband, who's my current husband, saw me crying and came over to me. He was the remaining of the two. This husband was very thoughtful. He squeezed my hand and whispered to me that everything would be all right. I finally had the happy family I'd dreamt of. There was no doubt from his appearance to his voice. Everything about him was my husband. And so I forgot about that day. Is there anything bothering you these days? Sir, to be precise, long time no see. Thanks to you, that child from before is growing strong and healthy. I was running away from that day. I hope you're doing well too, man. Until I met the monk again. I've been happy, actually. I'm delighted to hear that. Well, I better be going. I hope we'll meet again. Miss, there was one thing I wanted to tell you. Please be sure to always dispose of your child's nails very carefully. Mom, if you do, then you'll have no problems and will live happily. Since only you and I know about that day. So, until now I'd been so careful to do as he said, but now everything's ruined. What am I supposed to do? What do you mean? You've got to let the cat loose. But I don't know which one is the real Yunsel. What does it matter? What? I'm fake, and you still love me, right? Aren't you happier? Meow. No. It started again. Oh my god. Meow. Look at all the eyes. Meow. Tisk, tisk. I told you. You've got to be very careful about where you throw her nails out. You've brought this upon yourself. Well, now that you've lost everything, would you like to make a little bet with me to try and get it all back? The Vault of Horror, a collection of nightmares. A tale of cat and mouse. That was really interesting and really, really good. I don't think the story needs a whole lot of explanation. I would like to know, however, if she does make the bet to try and get everything back. That would be interesting to see. I wonder if there will be a later episode about that. But I would give this one a 5 out of 5 ghosts. That art especially was amazing. Okay, vodka. I think that was her agreeing, maybe. You'll have to let me know if you guys also agree down in the comments below. And let's see what other people had to say about this too. I'm fake and you still love me, right? Ooh, goddamn. I feel sorry for her. She only wanted a good husband and a happy family, but that stupid monk gave her a hard life. OOOs for being in her position of the arranged marriage where you can't say no before, especially in the past. The monk is trolling her. No doubt the monk is trolling her. No doubt. But you guys will have to let me know, like I said, what you think down in the comments below, because that pretty much wraps it up for this one. I hope you guys liked it. If you did, please make sure to like, comment, subscribe. And if you don't know what to comment down below, leave a cat and a mouse emoji. Not only does it help out my channel a lot, but it lets me know that you were here. It gives us a chance to chat. It lets me know you made it to the end of the video. And of course, I just love to see your faces down there. If you want to know the way to help out my channel, down below there are links to a website and restore my Patreon. There's zero obligation to check any of those out, but if you want to, you can. Thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate all of you so very much. Remember to stay genki AF, and I'll see you next time. Bye! Oh, hello there. Yes, this is me casually drinking from my Genki AF merch because I don't have any bloopers to share. But if you like my cup or my shirt or some leggings or some socks, there's links in the description below. Be Genki and enjoy your coffee or tea or water or whatever else you like to drink from mugs.